What's up guys? Now in this video we're not going to set up our operating system, that's the CentOS and the VirtualBox. That's what we're going to do. Now our VirtualBox is opened right now, but I hope you already downloaded the VirtualBox and the iOS image. If you have done that, you can follow along. So the next thing we're going to do right here is we're going to click on new. Once we click on new, we're going to have a sub menu appear. Okay, this is it. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put in the name of our iOS, that is CentOS 7. That's what it is. We installed CentOS 7. After putting it there, we're going to come down to the location where it's going to be installed. Mine is going to be the C drive, so I'm just going to leave it there. The second one is the iOS image that I need to install into the VirtualBox. So I'm going to click here. Now click on that. Now I'm going to look for where I installed it to, downloaded it to. So this is it. Click on this and click on open. Once you click on open, automatically the VirtualBox will detect the version and the type. You can go ahead and click on that. That's keep unattended installation. Go ahead and click on that. After clicking on that, come over here to next. Yep, come over here to next. Click on that. So here we are on the next page, and I'm having a little issue moving to next. That is because of the name. I made a mistake in the name. I put CentOS and I left a space between the CentOS and the 7. So you notice there's a red mark right here. So what I need to do is remove the space and that red mark will change. So let me make that change right now. And that's it. So you can see it has now changed the name to a pass mark. So which means that name is now okay. And I can now click on next. So now what we're going to do is click on next. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to come over to base memory. We're going to increase it a bit. Now that depends on our size of our memory on the system. If we have 8 gigabytes, you can increase it to 2, giving the VirtualBox 2 gigabytes space. But if we have more than that, we can increase it more depending on the amount of memory we have. Then the processor, we can just leave it to 1 CPU. That will be okay for it. So we're going to come down here to next, move on to the next page. So right here it says create a virtual hard disk now. So we're going to go with that. Then we're going to come to disk size and increase it maybe to about 25, 28, because later down the line we're going to do some few partitioning so that we have enough memory disk space. So we're going to increase it a bit. Okay, so after increasing it, we're going to come down and click next to the next page. Okay, so right now it says summary. So this is the summary of the configurations, the settings that we made. So now we're going to go ahead and click on finish. So after clicking on finish, you just wait for it so we can now see this. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into settings. We're going to click on settings, then come over to storage, and then click on storage again. So once you click on it, click on, okay, so it says empty. We have to click on it again. Once you click on it again, a sub menu will appear on the right hand side. So let's go ahead and do that. Click on it. Then come over to the right hand side and click on that. Then we're going to choose the iOS image again. After choosing that, you can see right now it has appeared. It's now loaded there. It's not showing empty again. But now we're going to come down. We're going to click on network. Once you click on network, you can see automatically we have 1 is activated. You can see it right there. It has been ticked. But we also have 2, 3, and 4. That's for the internet connection. And basically 1 is going to be enough. So we're just going to come down and click on OK right now. Cool. So go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so everything is done. So right now I'm going to click on the center 7 icon. Then I'm now going to click on start. So we want to start it, want to start running it. And this could take a couple of minutes for it to process, and the uploading process and also downloading. But at this point you don't need internet again. You can disconnect from the internet. If you're connected, everything's just gonna it's just gonna start installing it now. Okay, so right now I'm having an error. If you look at the right hand side right there, it says that the VTX is disabled in the BIOS for all CPU mode. So I have to go and fix that. So let me show you how to fix that if you have this error. If you do, but if you don't, you can just go ahead and continue the process. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's fix it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start the system over again. Click here. Then shut down. We can also just click on restart, so that when it's coming back restarting, we'll just click the F1. That is the button we're going to press for Lenovo laptop. So I have this the keypad. So let's put it on. When it's starting, we'll just press the F1 before it boots. Okay, now press off F1. We're gonna have to do it again. So we're gonna press the F1 for Lenovo to go into the BIOS. So come here, just wait and press it. Okay, that's it. So now we're going into the BIOS. Just gonna wait, and here we are. So we're gonna move our arrows right here. So we're going to use Control 8. So we're going to use to control it. So now let's move over to security. As we're coming to Lenovo, then come down to virtualization. So yeah, then click on this enter key. Click on it. So this is why we're having the error. The virtualization technology was disabled, so the VirtualBox wasn't able to run properly. So we're just going to click enter again, this enter button. Click on it, then scroll down, then enable it, enter again. We do it for the second one. Enter, scroll down, enter again. So right now we're going to come down, click F10 to save and exit. So this is it here, F10. Click on it. So right here it's asking us save configuration, change and exit. So click on move over to yes if it's not on yes, then click enter. So it's restarting. So that is how you can fix that error if you're having it. So let's continue the setup of our VirtualBox. Right now we're gonna wait for it to restart. So the system is starting again. It's gonna take a couple of minutes. Okay, so right now it says recovery. So if you have this issue when you're restarting again, just off the system and restart it and it's going to work perfectly. So let's go back to the installation process. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start it all over again. We're going to shut down and close this window. After closing the window, we'll restart it again. Okay, so right now we're going to start the process again. I'm opening it up. So we'll just wait for it to open. Okay, so right now it's opened up. So I'm just going to go to the green arrow right there and click start. But first I'm going to click on centos. After clicking on centos, click on start. the name, you can see it's blue. So the process have started again. I just need to wait and see if it worked. I know it worked. Okay. Okay, so the process have started. So now the whole process could take almost up to 30 minutes to 1 hour. That's how long it takes for the downloading the CentOS, the setting it up takes almost 1 hour for it to complete. So right now you need just to wait a bit, or you just press enter, but you need to wait. It's going to take some time. Something you need to take note of is the cursor. The cursor will become black sometimes and will also become white. That's because it's moving between the windows and the virtual machine. That's the Linux OS. So it's moving between that, and it's changing. So sometimes you won't be able to move your cursor out of the windows of the Linux. So what you need to do is just press right arrow on your keyboard, then control, right arrow and control to exit out of the Linux screen if you need to do anything on the Windows screen. So that's what you're going to do. Okay, so right here you need to choose the language. That's the language you want your Linux to be in. So I'm gonna choose English because that's the language I speak and read. So I'm gonna choose English. After choosing English, I'm gonna click on continue. That's the blue button down here. Okay, so let's click on that. Now, the next thing I'm going to click on is the date and time. So this is right here. That's it over there. So now we need to set the date and time zone. So once we click on it, it will take us there. Now, once it's open, we're just going to click our date and time. You can just click the location where we are by clicking on the map there. Then you set your date. After that, you click on done. Okay, so right here you can change the language and the keyboard, but we're going to come to installation destination. So go ahead and click on it. Then just wait for it to open up. So now once it opens up, what we're going to do is we're going to create partition. So it says here automatic configure partition, but that's not what we want. We're going to choose I will configure partition. I will configure partition. That's what we're going to click on. We're going to change it to that. So after that, we're going to click on done. So we want to create partition for the root and the boot and the swap. This one's right here. So after clicking on it, we're going to now choose the size of the disk space we're going to allocate to it. So that's what I'm going to do throughout. So let's speed this up. Now for us to create the partition, we're going to come and click on the plus. Once we click on the plus, this will appear. Then we click on that arrow facing down for the drop menu to appear. From there, we'll choose the ones we want to create the space for. Now for the / is for the root. So take note of that. / is for the root. So I'll just look at the amount of space that I'm going to create for it. So after I'm done typing in the number of space I'm allocating to it, I'll now click on add mount point. Note that if you look at the available space, it's reducing as I'm adding more to it, as I'm taking space and creating disk space. So right now we have done, look at it, we're done. So I'm done creating the partition. I'm now going to click on done. After clicking on done, okay, so after clicking on done, we wait for the, okay, so after clicking on done, we wait for the, okay, so after clicking on done, we wait for the, okay, so after clicking on done, we wait for the menu to appear a bit. Okay, so now we now click on accept changes. So go ahead and click on that. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to come over to software selection. From here, we're going to be able to choose the GUI interface. That's the graphical interface we're going to interact with instead of the command line. We can also still use the terminal if we want to. So we're going to come down and click on GNOME desktop. After clicking on that, we're going to come up and click on done. Now we can now use the graphical interface. Cool. Click on done. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on begin installation. While the installation is going on, we're going to create the root password and a user account too. So first thing, let's create the root password. First, I'm going to type in the password on top. Then after that, repeat it underneath. After that, click on done. Now we're going to create a user account. So click on user. So now the first box says full name. So you type in your full name. The second one says username. You can type any name you want into that box. It could be your real name or maybe a pet name into there. If you look underneath, it says make this account an administrator. So you can make it an administrative account or just make it an ordinary account that has a limit on what it can do. Now, if you look underneath, it says require a password to use this account. So you can click it. If you don't want to be using a password to log in, you can click on that. If you want to use the password, click on it. Click on it if you want to use a password. Now, come down and you see it says password. You can type in your password there, then confirm the password again. Then after that, click on done. And that's it. You've created a user account. Okay, so right now it says CentOS is successfully installed and ready for use. Go ahead and reboot to start using it. So go ahead and click on reboot. Once you click on reboot, start the process again. Just start it up again. So now we're going to wait for it to reboot. Then after that, we're going to accept the terms of use. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now, so next thing you're going to do, you're going to click on license information. So go ahead and click on it. Okay, so once it opens up, come down right here and click accept. Click on done. After clicking on done, we're going to come right here and click on finish configuration. Now, this is the last time you're going to see this. So you don't need to worry. You have to come back and click the agreement license again and accept the terms to use the application and other things like that. This is the last thing you're going to see it. So after clicking that, we just wait for it to load. So this is it. Now the login page have appeared. You go ahead and click it. That's the account we created. That's the user account. If you want to log into the root account, you click there, this icon right here. Once you click on it, you now type in root. That's the name. Then you put in the password. Basically, you just put in the password since there's only 2 accounts that is being created. So you just put in the password, then you log into the root. But I'm going to log into the user account that I created, not the root account. So this is it. I put in my password. After typing my password, I type in sign in. Okay, now we're logged in. So I'm going to come over to applications, then come over to system tools. That's where we're going to. What I want to do is I want us to test it to see if everything is working perfectly. So I want to go to the terminal and try out one of the commands. So come over to terminal, click on it. Okay, so after clicking on it, you just wait a bit. Now these are other little settings that might pop up for the first time, and once you are done with it, so it doesn't select the language again, but it's already on English, so I don't need to select it again. Then so I'm just going to come there and click on that blue icon over there. So we have these other settings. After clicking on it, type. Look at typing. You can choose the type of keyboards you want. The settings. So let's move on from here. Right here we have privacy. So you can just go ahead. You can license services. You can put it on and off if you want. let's go ahead, go up and click on that top green button. So I do advise you do read this. So right here it says connect your online account. So if you want to connect your Gmail or Microsoft or any email account you have, after that click on the blue button and we are done. See, you are ready to go. So that's it. So I'm going back to my terminal. Okay, so this is the terminal. So I'm going to try one of the commands, that is the ls, which will just display the what is on the home screen, basically, or the directory that I'm in. It's just going to display the items in the directory I'm in. So let's go ahead, then click enter, and that's it. So that is how you can install CentOS on your Windows. So your CentOS is the guest account while the Windows is the host. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe for more videos like this. Check out this video over here.